Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm super excited today. We have a very special guest, someone from my hometown, Orlando, Florida, Imam Tariq. He led the way at a masjid that was literally moving from 3,000 square feet outdoor prayer area in the rain of Florida to something that is now, man, you'll hear it in the show, over 25, 30,000 square feet, an Islamic school, upcoming gym, all types of activities right outside Disney. Imam Tariq's going to share tips, very powerful tips on how you can avoid the challenges. If you're thinking about growing and expanding your masjid, if you're thinking about starting a new masjid, there are powerful tips when it comes to how to fundraise, your attitude, your mindset, and also the pitfalls to avoid and how to avoid them right here. Let's get right to it. Let's talk to Imam Tariq from Islamic Center of Orlando, Jami Masjid right now. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here with a founder, community leader, Imam Tariq from right in my hometown, Orlando, Florida. Imam Tariq, thank you for being on the show today.
Okay. Thank you, brother, for inviting me.
Yes, sir. And, really, I wanted you on the show today because some of the work that we're doing is we found that there's nearly 4,000 masjids in America. And of those 4,000 masjids, about half of them are imamless and or in startup. And there's many people even today thinking about starting masjids. Tell us about your story and the Islamic Center there that you're at. You just completed this massive project over many years. What inspired you? What sort of came to your mind and the founders' minds in terms of building this? How did it get started?
So it all started back in 2010 because I came to Orlando in 1993. So at that time, the Islamic Center of Orlando was attended by, I would say, around 150 people for Jummah.
Yeah.
But then within, I would say, in a span of 10, 15 years, I started witnessing an influx of people.
Yeah.
To the extent that for Jummah, the masjid was to its capacity, and now people were praying outside.
Yeah.
So one time it started raining on the day of Jummah. So people who were outside, they were completely soaked.
Oh, no.
And there were like at least 40, 50 people who were completely soaked, including few sisters who are tourists.
Yeah.
So at that time, I thought that no, it's time for us to build a bigger masjid.
Yeah.
So this concept came up in 2010. So we spent several years thinking about it. Should we build a masjid at some other place, or should we build a bigger masjid right here?
Yeah.
So all kind of suggestions were coming, but then we decided that no, we'll demolish the old mosque and we'll build a new one.
And that's a big decision to make. Demolish the old mosque and build a new one. Did you run into challenges when that idea was proposed?
So there were many challenges. The biggest challenge was the cost.
Yeah.
Because at that time it was estimated that we'll need around $6 to $7 million to build this, although the cost went much higher after COVID.
Oh, wow.
Plus, when we went into the construction mode, we realized that we need to buy more land.
Yeah.
Because the parking is not sufficient. So we bought lands that were around the masjid. So we bought 2 houses, 3 parcels of big land. And that happened during construction.
Yeah.
So the price kept on going up and up and up. But the old mosque was 6,000 square feet.
Okay.
And the present one is 23,000 square feet.
23,000. Wow.
Yeah. So in Florida, this is like the largest in terms of square footage.
No doubt.
Initially, the idea was to just build a mosque, a beautiful mosque. But then an idea came to my mind that why don't we put marbles,
Yeah.
just marble masjid,
Yeah.
inside, outside. Um, so I knew that the cost will go up, but I said, let's build one that would be beautiful, full of marble, and Allah will provide.
Yeah.
And Alhamdulillah, we went with it, and Allah provided the funds. I mean, we finished this mosque, and we don't have any loan.
MashaAllah.
Everything is paid for.
Everything's paid for. Tell me about, as you're thinking about, if you were to go back 10 years, because there might be somebody right now, Imam Tariq, who's in the same shoes as you were, 10, 15 years ago. What advice would you give them? What should they be thinking about, planning about?
So the first advice that I will give is that first do some outreach efforts,
Okay.
not within the Muslim community, outside the Muslim community.
Okay.
Because what I learned is that back in 2015, when we proposed this new masjid plan to Orange County, we found out that there are hundreds of people who are not Muslims in our neighborhoods, but they are opposing. They are calling the Orange County Commissioner of our area, and they said that we do not need a bigger mosque in our area.
Oh, wow. So the outreach is to sort of get ahead, make sure you have community buy-in so that they're not working against you. Wow. How'd you overcome that?
So what happened, brother, was that the commissioner called us.
Okay.
And she said, look, Imam, I personally want you to have a bigger mosque, but it's not in my hand because I'm literally having hundreds of emails and people are calling into my office. So there's no way you are going to get approval.
Oh, no.
When it comes to public hearing. So I withdrew the application from the county. Said, okay, fine, we are withdrawing. So then one day, I was very frustrated that why people are opposing us. What is wrong that we have done?
Yeah.
So I went online and on Google, I just typed why an average American will hate Muslims.
Okay.
So I came up with a Pew research. And this research was done, I think, in 2014 or 13.
Pew Research 14, yep.
Yes. And it said that nearly 72 or 73% of Americans presently know nothing or little about Islam.
That's right. Oh, yep.
And the number was in 70s.
Yeah, huge.
So I said, well, so I got the answer actually. So what I did was that for 2 years, I started organizing interfaith efforts.
There you go.
Interfaith barbecues, interfaith dinners at the mosque, interfaith breakfast, interfaith iftar, and literally I will go home to home.
Oh my God, amazing.
I mean, it's kind of, now I don't know how I did it. I literally went home to home with invitations to our non-Muslim neighbors from here till Bay Hill.
Amazing.
And I went to churches. And on Sundays, with the permission from the management, I will speak.
Wow.
And I will invite them. And for 2 years, I must have done like 20, 25 such events. And those events to me were eye-openers. Because the people who came, many of them, when they saw the presentation in Islam and Muslim and they ate with us, they laughed with us, they had conversation with other Muslims, right, in that event. So they accepted that they were ignorant.
Oh, wow.
And not only that they were ignorant, they were wrongly informed about Islam. So in 2 years' time, what happened was the same people who were opposed to us, nobody opposed. So the Jewish synagogue across from our mosque, the rabbi wrote a very, very strong letter to the county in our support, and all the Christian churches on Apopka Island.
Oh, wow.
All of them wrote letters in our support, and many pastors went with me to Orange County at the time of public hearing.
Okay.
And so Teresa Jacob, who was the chairman of Orange County Commission, she said after the hearing, which was passed unanimously, She said that Islamic Center of Orlando did a marvelous job because 2 years ago, the same people who are opposed to the expansion of the Islamic Center of Orlando, all of them are in support now.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah. I learned a lesson that we should not blame people if they're opposing us. That's something that we have not done, and that is outreach program. I have been doing outreach programs since then. Since we opened the masjid, we have Christian, Jewish people just coming. The same people who supported us, you know, they are coming. In fact, the Mormon Church, the Church of Latter Day Saint, they came in a group a few days ago, and they brought some really, really expensive vacuums
Wow.
that they donated it to the masjid
As a
because they saw
gift.
a beautiful carpet. So they said, you know what? Don't use a regular carpet. It's going regular vacuum. It's going to destroy your carpet. Here are the really expensive ones.
Wow. Imam Tariq, I mean, that to me just is a key lesson and a key insight that
Yeah.
you've shared.
Yeah.
In my work in the nonprofit space, we have masjids many times that are not getting the zoning that they need. They're not getting the proper permits that they need. And I feel like you've passed on a jewel here. What I'm hearing you say is that you found the recipe. The recipe is invest the time in outreach, and in your words and your advice, what that looks like is go meet the neighbors, inform, educate, and feed, share, connect,
Yeah.
and do all those things, do the groundwork,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
go and submit your request to the city, and you'll find the support that you need.
Yes.
Powerful.
So what I have learned, Brother Tayyab, is that our imams and the leaders, right?
Yeah.
My message to them, based on whatever experience I have learned,
Yeah.
is that we are supposed to, inshallah, serve the Muslim community, and we'll keep on serving them, but not at the expense of our non-Muslim neighbors.
Wow.
They need to hear from us.
Yeah.
And vast majority of our non-Muslim neighbors are wonderful, wonderful people. For example, I'll tell you this is one time I was having an interfaith dinner in 2016,
Yeah.
and the neighbors were here. One lady, after dinner and after seeing the presentation, and there was question answering session going on, she stood up
Okay.
and she said that, Imam, I have to confess that I used to hate you guys. And she said that each time I will drive past this mosque, I used to think that this is another office of Osama bin Laden.
Oh man. And she said it in front of everybody.
She said that. In front of everybody.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then she said that now I realize, sitting here, that my doctor is a Muslim.
Oh man.
And she said that I regret that I was hating you. But here's the most important. She said, but the thing is that I have been living here all my life, close to the mosque. Nobody ever invited me.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said it's our fault.
Well, that's powerful. I hear you, and I just really, really powerful advice and tips. So now, let's say that there's somebody out there right now thinking about, expanding their masjid. You've shared one of your first hurdles and how you overcame it. So now you have the permit, and you start construction. What was some of the other big hurdles that you ran into?
The other hurdles were that the mosque was approved for 18,000 square feet initially. So everybody was saying, mashallah, mashallah, let's go ahead, because the old mosque was 6,000 square feet.
Yeah.
They said now we have 18,000 square feet. But I said no. I think the way the community is growing, we need a bigger one.
Right.
So I just took it upon myself that I'm going to go back to the community, to
Okay.
the county. I went back, and it took another 9 months to 10 months. We went through all the process again, and finally they approved us for 23,000.
MashaAllah.
Now it's mashallah is big. But one thing that I would like to really emphasize upon is that the leaders and the imams there, right? I think once they feel that what they are doing is right, right, then they should go all out.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I mean, no ifs and buts.
Yeah.
I mean, like Allah Quran said, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلَ اللَّهِ. So
SubhanAllah.
once you have that azm, then trust upon Allah and go ahead and start the work. People will come.
Inshallah.
And criticism and praise to leaders, these two things should be the same.
Powerful. Oh, wow. SubhanAllah.
Should be
Powerful.
the same. Because I mean, we should not be happy that somebody has praised me, and we should not lose hope once somebody criticizes us, because we are doing it for Allah.
We're doing for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
People have criticized me, but the same people are praising me after seeing the beautiful mosque. So I think that the same people who are criticizing me, that Imam, why so much money, why such a big mosque? We are a small community. Now they're saying, wow, mashallah, very good, very good. So yeah, so I mean, we should not change our direction based on people's perceptions.
Oh, it's just fantastic advice. And, you know, for those of you who are listening in right now, the Islamic Center of Orlando, Imam Tariq, this masjid is actually at the entrance of Disney. And so not only does it, you know, provide space for Jummah for the Muslim families and communities in and around the area, I will tell you from personal experience, when I have friends and family from around the world visiting Orlando, they will always say, hey, we're going to Jummah at Jami Masjid, Islamic Center of Orlando. So it's also a place that sends a story to 90 million something visitors that come to Disney, come to Orlando every year from all over the world. They look for a place to pray. They experience an American masjid. Imam Tariq, thank you for sharing that story. The powerful advice. And in this show, we've been talking to founders like yourself, and you sort of nailed it. Like, when I've asked other founders on this show, what's the one advice you would give? They would say the same thing. Once you have a powerful vision, trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and go. And today you've cemented that with this thought that, you know, a true leader accepts criticism at the same weight as praise and understands that they go hand in hand. Thank you for sharing that advice and guidance. Tell us a bit more, maybe as we close out in these next few minutes, when you think about across the street, you have a school, you know, and now you have a center, you have a school. What do programs look like? If I were building a masjid, how should I plan out what my program should be?
So yes, I mean, the school that you're talking about, we established that in 1997.
Okay.
So it's like 7 years old?
Yeah.
Or 7 years old. Now we are expanding the building as well.
MashaAllah.
Because we got approved by Orange County for 23,000 square feet of the masjid.
Yeah.
Then 18,000 square feet of a gym. And then 22,000 square feet for a community hall.
Wow, MashaAllah.
And then 3,000 extra square footage for the school. So right now our school has nearly 350 students from pre-K till 8th grade. Now we have nearly 200 children on waiting list.
Wow.
For 2026, 25, 26. So we really need to expand on our school, and we are working for it. And you know, one thing that I like to mention to especially the leaders is that, you know, when your intention is correct, right, then Allah helps you in mysterious ways. I mean, in these 6-7 years of being here and trying to build this masjid, my iman grew upon Allah.
MashaAllah.
Because each time we needed money, somebody will come and just give us a check and go. For example, one time, whether we needed a proof of funds,
Okay.
For over $1 million.
Wow.
Because we were building exploitation system, which was like $2 million.
Yeah.
and the company was not from Orlando, and they said that we need proof of funds,
Yeah.
and we did not have maybe $50,000 in our account, and so that company sent their officer here, and he was in a hotel 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and he was saying, "Show us the proof, show us the proof." So I just randomly said, "Okay, come on Monday, and I'll show you the proof." So I remember this would be in 2000, I think 19, I guess.
Wow.
And I just said it, trusting Allah. So one of my colleagues said, "Imam, what are you saying? We don't have this kind of money." I said, "Just let's go ahead and make dua, something will happen." He said, "Well, if on Monday, if we don't show proof of funds, this company will walk away,
Yeah.
and we'll never be able to call them back." Brother, on Friday, one brother sent $1 million
Subhanallah.
on Friday. And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I said it on Thursday, on Friday, one brother, he said, "Imam, just go." And he didn't know that we need this money.
Wow.
All he knew is that we are building a big mosque. And mashallah, he came, and I could not believe it.
Yeah.
And on Monday, we called that company and said, "Look here is the proof of fund." So I will never forget this incident. And that really uplifted my spirit. I said, "Well, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala working here.
Yeah.
All we have to do is just do our best, and Allah will help."
That's all it is. No, that's powerful. That's very, very powerful. And something that I run into often, Imam Tariq, is I meet imams and spiritual leaders and passionate founders, but then I often see the board dynamic. The board doesn't have the same passion and vision. Have you dealt with that? And what advice do you have for other passionate leaders, when they're really building something great? Like, what's the right way to set up and lead your board, if you will? Have you any advice there?
Yes, this is a very, very important point that you have brought. There are two kinds of imams here. One is that who take their job of being an imam as a job.
Okay.
Others say that no, this is my job, fine, but this is my passion. I want to serve the community. So whatever the mosque or the Islamic Center is expecting me to do, I'm going to do more and beyond that.
SubhanAllah.
And I'm going to serve it. Like Prophet ﷺ, they used to serve people.
Yeah.
So we are called the inheritors of Prophet.
Yeah.
So we have to have the same kind of compassion that I'm going to serve the community. And once the Imam is serving the community and he has a good track record of years, then he should lead.
Yeah.
He should lead. The board members come and go, right? They might not have the same understanding or knowledge or passion. But for an Imam who has dedicated his life, and now he is compassionately working to serve the Masjid, to serve the community, I think he should lead. But for the Imam, right, he should be sincere and he should be working really hard for the sake of Allah.
Yeah.
As I said, the other kind of Imams, they just take it as their job and they just do that much that is expected of them. And they say, "Okay, my job is done, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow." So that kind of, I would say, attitude is not right.
Yeah.
Imam should be there to serve.
And in what you're suggesting is so powerful because it lines up with actually nonprofit research in a sense that in nonprofit best practice, your board is there to empower the organization. Your board is there to support the executive leadership. And that if the board is over managing or the board's trying to manage the organization, then power gets displaced. Sort of this concept of Amir gets diminished. Who's really leading the organization? And what I'm hearing you say is, number one, not everyone can be a CEO or the CEO Imam. And, you have to, that person is fundamentally leading the community, leading the organization, leading the board. And what really ultimately drives you is that passion, that desire to serve. So service leadership is the type of leader that you want to have. You know, what are your thoughts on this expectation that the imam, you know, needs to also know how to build a business and have business skills, or doesn't? Would you say to a rising youth, maybe coming out of Qalam, for example, or coming from Bayan Graduate School, these seminaries, mashallah, we have so many seminaries in the US now. What would you say to these young rising leaders, youth, you know, in how to prepare themselves, you know, to lead a community and build transformation? What skills should they develop?
For the upcoming young imams and scholars, right?
Yeah.
I would say that if you have the passion to serve the community, then be an imam.
Okay.
If you lack that compassion, then don't be an imam. Go and do some other job.
Some teaching work.
That's some teaching work. To be an imam now is just, your plate will always be full.
Yeah.
Always be full, because you have to put on so many different caps all the time, and so you should accept it instead of complaining. This is how the world is right now. And for imams in US, they have to keep on wearing caps, different caps every day, and I enjoy it because for 32 years I have been doing it. And I love doing it. I love serving the people, Muslims and non-Muslims. And so yeah, I mean, if you enjoy this, then be an imam. If not, then do something else.
Imam Tariq, as somebody who lives in Orlando, we love your leadership and we love to get your advice and guidance. Jazakumullah khairan. You know, sort of one last question, and then we'll wrap. You know, team. And how do you, as an imam, and now, mashallah, you have the Islamic School expansion project, you have the Masjid, you have youth programming, you know, mashallah, I also participate with my kids and family at all the events and activities, the food festivals, the Eid festivals, mashallah. How do you build and manage a team like that? What advice and tips do you have for that?
Brother, it's all about trust.
Okay.
I mean, you have given your life, like 30 years, whatever, and people have tested you, they trust you, and that's the biggest thing for you, that, you know, now, you know, Allah will create a good team. You know, the hadith, the meaning of that is that when leaders get good mu'awin, meaning helpers, this means that Allah's help is upon them.
Subhanallah.
So if you have good helpers, and alhamdulillah, in every community, including ours, I mean, we have wonderful sisters, wonderful brothers, mashallah, amazing people, literally, brother, amazing people. During this construction of the masjid, brother, there are so many stories when somebody did something and I came home and I had tears in my eyes. That how can, I mean, I'll tell you this Ramadan, when the masjid was open, right? And now we are praying here, an extremely old woman who is very, very old and poor.
Yeah.
Right? She sells some vegetables, some fruits outside the masjid sometime. She came, and I was in the parking lot. She came, she gave me $1,000, and Imam Usman was with me, my assistant was there. He said, both of you got here, I'd like to give you this $1,000 for the second phase of the masjid.
Wow.
I said, sister, how did you manage $1,000? She said that somebody in the women's section gave me a gift for Eid. And I said that, no, I'm going to give this to the masjid for its second phase.
Wow.
And she doesn't have even a car. She walks to the masjid. And she gave $1,000, and she said, this $1,000 is like worth, I don't know how much, $100,000? So, I mean, there's so many wonderful people, poor, young, old, you know, rich people. So I think there are wonderful people. All we, the leaders, need to do is be sincere, work hard, and once we serve people, people will come forward and will help you out.
SubhanAllah. Thank you so much, Imam Tariq. You've shared jewels today. Jewels today. You know, if you're working to expand your masjid, make sure you have outreach before you start going to get zoning and help. You know, no matter what you do, if you're going to be an imam, you know, you have to choose. You have to love it, and you have to choose service. You have to understand you're serving everyone, and you lead all the people, sometimes from back, sometimes from front, but that service leadership. If you're pursuing knowledge and you don't want to serve, then perhaps be a teacher or something else. I also picked up this thought that, you know, Allah is with you if you're sincere, and to be a leader, then also you want to make sure that you accept criticism in the same way that you accept praise. Don't take all that hard to stop you. Make sure you trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it comes to building a team, wow, what I heard you say is when you're doing it sincerely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah brings you helpers. And those helpers are there. They can be your staff, they can be your volunteer, they could be donors. And have that pure tawakkul and make dua. Ask Allah for help sincerely, and Allah brings you the help. Imam Tariq, thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership. We might bring you on the show again, perhaps with some of your team, to talk about how to build good programs. But may Allah bless you. May this be another sadaqah jariyah for you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.